Hello everyone, it's PotatoLegion here. I hope you are keeping very well. Some big changes coming to Dead by Daylight in the mid-chapter development update. I'm going to go through all of them with you today. I'm going to try and break down the long paragraphs as quickly as I can for you guys. You haven't got to give this a full read yourselves. Mostly to do with Trapper and Spirit changes, and there's some other perk changes as well, which we'll go through. So let's get straight into it. Let's not mess about. Trapper is being changed so that the normal generation of traps was between 4 and 6. Now it's always 6, so he has that consistent amount of traps on any map, which is really nice. Also, the Trapper will be carrying an additional trap in hand, so they won't have to rely on the bag add-ons anymore, which means you can now mix up multiple different add-ons rather than always having to bring a bag, which is insanely good for Trapper. They've also added a couple more add-ons called Detention Spring. Whenever a survivor gets out of a trap, it will automatically reset 2 seconds later. I can't really see Trapper getting much use out of this, because if the survivor escapes and the trap is still far away, they can just disarm the trap once they've got out of it when it auto resets. I guess this can be kind of good if a survivor escapes a trap and you're on your way to them. That way you haven't got to worry about resetting it and you can commit to chase, which is really nice. The Trapper sack. All bear traps are carried at the beginning of the trial instead of spawning on the map, but bear traps cannot be picked up. This is an insanely questionable decision. I mean, if you are going for like Basement Trapper and you start off the match with all traps in hand, you can grab a survivor, bring them to the basement, and trap the absolute hell out of it, and you're gonna have an easy time. So I question that add-on, and I look forward to having some spicy plays with that. Now, a lot of you probably do not like going against the Spirit. Well, they've made some changes to her. Let's go through it more in detail here. So when it comes to the Spirit's phasing, they're now adding a 24 meter of the Spirit. You'll now hear a directional phase sound. This lets you know whether or not she's phasing, and also gives you a rough direction of where she's coming from. So there's no longer no phasing noise. So before, how it is currently, when you're within her terror radius, if she phases, you have no idea. But now you're going to know which direction she's coming from, which is really nice. The Spirit's footsteps will now kick up dust while she's phasing, and if you're paying attention, you should be able to pinpoint which direction she's coming from. This means there's no more pretending to phase or doing really easy mind games. Now this killer requires a little bit of skill to get going correctly, but let's see how well this dust particles actually show, and if it's actually going to be effective to countering Spirit. Finally, she now has some good counters to her. They've also changed a couple of add-ons, so I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce them both. I'm just going to call the first purple one on the left the Sire. During Yamoka's haunting, use the active ability button to return to the husk and end the haunting. I believe this means that when you press the ability button, you'll immediately come out of phase, and you'll be able to hit a survivor very quickly, which is really nice. Sengo Hanabi. When Yamoka's haunting ends, the Spirit's husk explodes, and any vault locations within 4 meters are blocked for 5 seconds. This can be really great if you're coming up to somebody and you know they're about to get to a window, and you can just come out of phase, boom, block window, whack, easy peasy. But it's going to take some skill to pull that off, so I like these changes to Spirit. Let's see how it goes. Any killer mains out there that play Spirit a lot, maybe a little bit frustrated by these updates, but I still think she's going to still be extremely powerful. But now there's some counterplay for survivors to actually stand a chance against her, especially for newer players. Right, let's get on to different killer add-ons. So I don't know if they actually go into the add-ons, but let's just briefly read this. So what does moderately mean? How much more is tremendously compared to considerably? If you ever found yourself in this situation, you're not alone. We use descriptive words like these to keep descriptions simple, but they end up causing just as much confusion to not immediately clear what they're doing. Okay, so a lot of perks say they tremendously do something, or they moderately increase speed or whatever. So now they're changing what it says. So all of these killers in this list will be getting perk description changes to hopefully better explain how much that add-on affects that killer in terms of speed, or how long a trap lasts, a pig, whatever. It's just going to be more descriptive, which is nice to know. Now we've got going into the perk updates. So let's get straight into it. Vigil, nice and simple. We're increasing the recovery rate from 10 to 15 to 20% to 20 to 25 to 30%. Additionally, Vigil will now increase the recovery rate of broken, exposed, and oblivious status effects, as where, in short, okay, so they're buffing Vigil, so you're going to expect to see more spicy head-on plays, more exhaustion perks being used, and it actually counters the oblivious, exposed, and broken status effects, which is actually really nice. I wonder if this stacks in well with Deliverance now, so I can see a lot of Deliverance and Vigil plays potentially, or for the people with Vigil. Vigil's not really used, don't really see it often, so I kind of like this tweak. It's going to encourage people to use it a little bit more, which is fine by me. Babysitting Guardian, another small tweak. The rescued survivor will now receive a speed boost for 4 to 6 to 8 seconds, in addition to not leaving any scratch marks or pool of blood. The aura reading duration has now been doubled. That's okay. Babysit / Guardian didn't really do much anyway. Now this can probably be a viable perk for saving a teammate. If you start in with borrowed time, that survivor gets a speed boost away, and you can take aggro, which is nice to know. For the people, you can create some amazing moments, but the trade-offs of being broken just make it very risky. That's kind of the whole point of it. We're decreasing the duration of the broken stats effect to 80, 70, 60 seconds from 110 to 100 to 90. Interesting. I still think that's relatively okay. A survivor being broken for a minute is fine. I don't see much point. And now if they can stack this with Vigil for 30%, anyone good with quick math, is that not 18 seconds taken off? The 60 seconds minus 18. Oh my goodness, 32 seconds of broken stats effect. Is that right? Did I just do quick math? Okay. So Vigil and for the people going to be the new meta potentially. Quickly picking up, only broken for 30 seconds, and then you can heal yourself. Who knows? That could be pretty interesting. Okay, Hex Retribution would only make a survivor oblivious if they cleanse a dull totem. Now interacting with any kind of totem will make them oblivious. Additionally, we've increased the aura reading duration once a Hex totem is cleansed to 15 seconds. Mwah. Behavior. Mwah. Brilliant. Love it. I love the fact they're oblivious, and I love the fact that you can now see them for 15 seconds. I'm actually releasing a nurse video soon showcasing this Hex with another Hex, and oh my goodness, perfect. Love it. Love the changes. I'm probably going to be using this a lot more as killer, especially for fast mobility killers. Great change. Looking forward to that being used. Hex Blood Favor. The perk shipped with very safe conditions so it didn't get out of control. Upon reflection, we feel comfortable with removing some of these restrictions. Hex Blood Favor will no longer have a cooldown and will activate upon successful special attacks as well. Hex Blood Favor blocks pallets when you hit a survivor. Now that it doesn't have a cooldown, that is absolutely gross, and it's going to be very nice for anti-loop. And the fact that it works with special attacks as well is really, really nice. So I'm looking forward to this. I can imagine shredding his demo. The survivor tries to drop the pallet in a panic, and then you're instantly back in chase, and they can't drop it, and you get them again. It's going to be great. I like these buffs. They're nice. For hexes, I think they deserve to be the best because survivors can counter them easily just by cleansing them. So far, so good. Hex Third Seal. Just like the above, we've added a special attack to the Hex Third Seal as well. This should make the perk more practical and killers are focused more on dealing damage with their power. Ah, I see. Okay, so that took me a second to process. So if you use special attacks with Third Seal, it will work and make them blind, which is amazingly great. So good stuff. I like the fact it works with special powers. It should have done in the first place, but I'm glad they've addressed it. This is really, really good. Hex Thriller the Hunt. With boom totems making their way to the game more or this soon, we decided to give Thriller the Hunt some love by extending the speed penalty from cleansing to blessing as well. Yeah, I'm really scared about boom totems. So what they're saying is Thriller the Hunt will make it so that when survivors change a dull totem to a boom totem, which probably gives them a perk of some sort, it's going to take them slightly longer. Kind of irrelevant. Boom totems are going to be the big hot topic when it comes out. If they really make it so that they go into buffing survivors in like gen speed or healing or something stupid like that, and the killer has to cleanse it, it's going to be a big problem. Killers have already got enough stuff to do. So anyway, this video is not about boom totems. Let's get straight into it. Item and character kill switch. Last but not least, let's talk about the game health feature. The item and character kill switch. With over 50 playable characters and their cosmetics, nearly 200 perks, and hundreds more add-ons and offerings in the game, sometimes things do break. Rarely things will break in a way that make them exploitable, and that can make next week or two before a really tough. Enter the kill switch. The kill switch allows us to disable anything that's causing an issue without needing an update. When something breaks and becomes explodable, we will switch it off until fixed. This is something we've been able to do with maps and it's shown a great effect. Okay, in short, they're basically going to be able to have the ability to disable perks, disable characters if they need to, whatever. They can just take it out of the game for a little bit. That's fine. I'd rather play a game where survivors aren't exposing an exploit with like a broken perk. That's fine. Do what you got to do, behavior. It's glad that you're trying to address these issues. Overall, really great update. I am looking forward to these changes. I couldn't see a single change here that I didn't agree with. I'm looking forward to it. This is a good step in the right direction. Let's see what the future holds, and I'm looking forward to trying to go against spirits now. And I'm really looking forward to playing Trapper and trying out the changes to these hexes. Guys, I will leave a full link in the description if you want to read it yourself. And be sure to leave a comment telling me what you think about this update. Guys, hope you enjoyed the update video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.